All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another 304 reads. We are back with our extended edition of the Fire Punch manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, otherwise known as the creator of Chainsaw Man, for those that didn't know. I am joined once again by my lovely co-hosts, Aldrin, Jaya, Mary, Justin, and Nick. Nick, how are you doing, my guy? We haven't done this in a while, but can you tell us what's been going on in your life since then?
Yeah, since the last time we met, I defended my PhD thesis and graduated. Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a
Pretty much
doctor
the one,
now.
like, the number one thing.
I love
Now
that.
I'm packing and moving out of my apartment.
Jay, what's been going on with you? How's everything been?
Since May?
Yeah,
Did we do anything in May?
May to
Uh
now.
May to now? We saw Nick's PhD defense, which was pretty sick to be there for that. Um it was Aldrin's birthday. I feel like that's something Aldrin should have said actually.
Oh yeah, we'll
So
we'll
Dr.
get
J.
those.
You probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, nothing too major. Just chilling.
Okay, Aldrin, you want to follow up on your wifey's catch up times? Your
So
birthday, Dr. J.
Dr. J in Chicago. Shout out the Big Three.
Shut up. Big Three.
Big Three tournament. That's it. I don't think there's anything crazy.
All right, Mary J.
My
How y'all
birthday's
doing?
coming up, so we went to Monster Trucks for my birthday. Rhinomite and
Bone
just hanging out with
Shaker,
people. And it was your
Skelosaurus,
birthday too.
Yeah,
Mega
since
Rex.
May. Today I grilled 6 burgers and six bratwursts in the rain. That was cool. They were
It
a
was
little
from May.
underdone, but they
A
tasted
little
tasted
under
pretty
the
good.
damn. Dude, did you guys
I was
really
just
get hit with the rain? Was the rain that bad?
dude, it was pouring.
I made it just in time because I had to get groceries before I had to go back home, play some games with my friend, and then do this. But I avoided the rain completely.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I was completely soaked. My shirt was completely soaked. I was not wearing this outfit at all. I dried my hair, recombed my
Me
hair,
neither.
but other than
Should
that,
have just sacked it off.
eh,
Should have just left the food.
no. I closed all the vents and I put the cover back on and stuff while it was still hot. So I think it should be good. I don't think it's
Smooth.
burning down. And then I turned 29 and made sushi with everybody here.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Shout out Drake and Josh. Love that. All right, let's get back into the manga. So does everyone remember where we left off?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Only three.
Yes.
Yeah. It was after Agni basically destroyed Behemdorg. And then he got raided by the Ice Witch.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Ice Witch showed up, and then that was the cliffhanger that we actually left off on. Cuz basically Agni was like, "Oh, I think I killed Judah, or not Judah. I think I killed Doma, and that was the end of my life's goal." But at the time we didn't know if Doma was actually dead, confirmed nor denied. So we just went with that. So we are basically going to cover the remaining volumes 4 through 8. I do have a list of key takeaways on a separate document. So, in volume 4, I'm just gonna try and go through things pretty quickly so we can have a pretty good discussion today. But the main takeaways for volume 4 was Agni gaining new followers in Batman, Sharkhead, and the I called her the Naked Lady. I don't want to call her that actually. But she speaks
The girl.
English. Yeah, it's the girl. I
Oh, right, right, right.
she's wearing lingerie. She has an eye patch, and she has like
Yeah,
this spear, which I think she's hot as fuck. She has so much aura. Yeah, I think in my notes I just called her spear lady, but I think from my takeaways I just called her naked lady. Um, aside from that, Agni again, he feels a lot of guilt through all the people that he's killed in Behimu, and Togata's trying to like kind of settle him down, telling him to move on from it just because he has the rest of his life to live. And then they go back to their village, and Togata basically tells Agni that since he has all these new followers, he needs to win them over by performing a miracle in order for them to trust him. Um he has to feed about 500 people, and this includes all the survivors from the previous village, the survivors from Behimu, and then other people that Batman, Sharkhead, and Spear Lady kind of saved along the way. Um so to do this, Agni basically feeds everyone his head, which includes like his skin and his eyeballs. And this creates a lot of delusion among the villagers and his followers, basically making them think that eating his mouth will give them divine strength, eating his ears will cure them of sickness, and eating his eyes will grant them better vision.
He said it
And
tasted good though.
yeah, people said it tastes good.
If you're
Um,
starving.
Somebody was chefing it up.
yeah. uh, so also discussed in this volume was where people go after they die. This was kind of a discussion between Nen, Togata, and Agni. And Togata basically tells them that after they die, they go to a cinema. I think this is very foreshadowing. I kind of discussed it with Mary on Thursday or Friday over text because she was like she needed clarification over some things that was happening. So but we'll discuss that a little bit later. We also find out that Doma is still alive. And I forget what specific chapter this was, but also Batman reveals that he has the blessing to read people's minds. And he says that Agni should not trust Togata because she is a man in a woman's body. And I was completely mind blown when I saw this. I think that at the time I didn't believe it because we don't know how much to trust Batman, but I kept running with it, and then we eventually find out that it is actually true. And then we also find out that Judah's still alive, even though she got decapitated by the Ice Witch at the end of Volume 3, and she robbed her of her head. I do really want to discuss Chapter 38 with you guys because that's where we find out like the grand scheme of the Ice Witch. Um, but yeah, we also figure out that the Ice Witch also is fake. I think Aldrin alluded to that in the last meeting that we had. Her name is actually Sulia. I can't necessarily categorize her if she's a real person, so I just said she's a being that robs people of their consciousness. I also labeled her as a tentacle monster, and I was like, "What the hell is she?" Um, along
Like
with this,
Kaguya, right?
kinda. Um, so Suya has dreamed for so long to touch Judah. That's in the quote in the manga. I was like, huh? You just like want to touch her? And then she tells Judah that she's gonna have her consciousness left and she's gonna become Sulia's puppet slash doll, and she's gonna carry out the principles of the world through destruction and rebirth. Um, does anyone want to start off the discussion with what you guys thought about Volume 4? It is a lot, but I think Chapter 38 is gonna be something where we talk about a lot.
Hmm.
I forgot about the Ice Witch, bro. When you started getting into like the later half, I was like, la la la, and then the book ended, and I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, the Ice Witch. Like I don't really know what happened to that entire thing. I don't know.
Seems like she's
Because
not nearly important as you thought she was
Yeah.
gonna be at the start.
Yeah. I thought she would like be recurring, maybe. Like, ooh, this is like a villain that showed up out of nowhere. But then yeah, we didn't really see, at least I think, see her like later.
Yeah, she comes up later. I thought that her role was gonna be a lot bigger, but she was basically, to me at least, she was like a connecting person, connecting point to her like grand scheme of her like doomsday kind of plan. Jaya, Aldrin, do you guys have thoughts on Sulia, the Ice Witch?
The volume.
Oh shoot, he's
Oh shoot.
are you lagging? Okay, I think you're back.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I'm trying to pick my words carefully. Just I'm not sure if we're trying to blend it in with all the other volumes. I feel like everything kind of just melted all at once. There were some chapters that were a lot faster
Hmm.
than others to read. There's some that were just kind of just a lot of panels showing like fights or not a lot of
Yeah.
text. You know,
Yeah. I also do want to shout out San, because he gets his prosthetic legs in this volume.
was that
Because
here? Okay.
it was in chapter 35. Because in the earlier volumes he got his legs cut off by Jack, the guy who had the dogs and was
The dogs.
the dogs. Yeah, I don't want to discuss too much about him, but yeah, he was that weird
Yeah.
guy.
I think the thing that confused me about Sulia, I didn't even remember that being her name. Um, she was talking about like that she and Judah were part of like, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was talking about how they were part of the people that were there before the world became ice,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
And was saying like that's why they look alike, right? Is that what she
Hmm.
said? I
Yeah.
think that
Oh,
part confused me a lot, and I feel like when after not to like jump ahead, but after we finished the story, I still didn't really get like what that had to do with the story.
Oh,
Just
like
because I feel like they didn't explain, or I didn't really pick up like why that was important. I guess,
her goal, or like
or
using Judah.
just like why they
That bit of
looked
lore,
alike.
she calls
Hmm?
them evolved,
Yes.
but we never really figure out what that means or what the evolved are. She also seems to understand why people have blessings, but it's not really clear. I was kind of confused as well when she has that little uh lore
Like,
monologue.
exposition part. I
okay.
was confused.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, I think this is where I'm gonna segue us into talking about 38, because chapter 38 basically discusses and opens the box of what Sulia's plan is, how she's gonna use Judah, and it involves the older generation and the current generation and how they differ. So this is where Sulia compares the blessed ones to appliances, which I thought this was very good because it kind of dumbs down um how we look at like people in the story. So she uses a gun and a toaster as examples. So she says a gun is a blessing that can kill people when the trigger is pulled. A toaster will toast bread when you press a button. And the blessed are invisible guns and toaster ovens created by the old world and drifting through the air. So, they were in the older generation before our current like cast of characters. The blessed ones back then were able to use all forms of blessings, and everyone was born with this trigger of a gun and switched to a toaster to use whatever power was available to them. And the current generation's people weren't able to evolve, so they can use one blessing at most. So I mean, in a way I can think of like, I don't know how similar this is going to be, but like the founding titan of AOT. Founding titan was able to use like all the powers, but then she um s- split up all her abilities into separate like titans.
Remember that, Aldrin?
um yeah, Aldrin, you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got you.
Uh, yeah. So I think it's like that, but I don't if anyone else can think of another comparison or example, that'd be great. Um, so Sulia also tells Judah and us as the audience that she and her are the only ones from the older generation because they live thousands of years. And then we see
Make
Sulia point. What's up?
Because A isn't Judah
She was like 13 when we
we
started.
saw her as a kid. We saw like the
Yeah,
flashback where like her father tells her that she's going to be the leader of this religion and she has to pretend to be a prophet. And that was
yeah.
like recent history.
Hmm.
So is
But
Judah
she's
like
like
an
a descendant,
I think
I think.
I I mean we can talk about that too. I don't mind going off on like tangents, but
well, the
um
second thing because why I was confused about what um the Ice Witch's explanation. I still don't remember her name. I just think of her as the Ice Witch.
yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
We know who you're talking about.
Doesn't that mean Togata would also be one of the old generation because she's super immortal?
So I do agree to some extent with what you're saying. I will probably have to go back to my notes, but Sulia says that her age is at least 1,000 years old because she says her age is 4 digits long. So that can vary between at least like 1,000 years
Being
to like 99,000 years or something like that. Um, and then we get to see her face because she finally pulls down her hood and she has like a tree branch coming out of her eye. Um,
Yeah.
but I do agree it's kind of weird with Judah because we do see her as like a young girl earlier in the story. I don't know if when she grew older, like her current age now, like let's say she looks like a in the story she looks like a 25-year-old, right?
right.
Like maybe when she hit that like pinnacle of her like physique or like looks or whatever, she probably like stayed that she kept her looks but she kept getting older. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's how it works because so the Ice Witch is she looks young, but she's like thousands of years old. So I guess we can just like assume that for now.
So do you think that flashback to her and her father, which we read, I forget where it was, but in like one of the first three volumes, was that like 1,000 years ago?
Um, I'm not too sure
I think
because
that was still recent.
we don't get we don't get like a specific like a year or actually we do kind of get a year. Um, I think we're in like the 3,000 like year 3,000 or some shit like that. I'm gonna have to go back. But was there anything else that you were kind of confused about during this like interaction between the two of them?
I was still confused about where the blessings come from because she talks about how um, it's a gun, it's a toaster oven. Before people could use all of the powers, but like, okay, this does take place in the real world, right? This is our
Mm,
future.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So at some point between now and the future, people start having blessings, and I guess it's like X-Men, where they just start having powers, like random evolution. I was
Yeah, I
confused
got the
about that.
screenshot. That was one of the things because it says that they were all born possessing blessings already. So maybe some sort of like mutation or something.
Hmm. So it's in volume one. This kind of clears up like the time that we're in. I wrote a note about we're definitely past the year 2200. Because it mentions a cultural revolution of the 23rd century. Um, but we're not given a specific year. Like this is the year 24, 26
Okay,
or something like that. Yeah, but it's definitely in the far future.
okay.
I think it's interesting how like the previous generation that can use all the blessings are like blonde hair, blue eyes, Aryan race.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Nick.
Yeah,
Care to chime in, Nick?
made me want to go back and look because is are Luna and Judah and the Ice Witch are they the only characters in the whole thing that have blonde hair?
I
I
think
thought Doma did.
I thought, yeah, Doma
I think
does. I think
San
San
Oh, yeah.
does.
Fun. Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yes,
So there's lots of people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Nick does.
Nick does.
It's
Um,
really
trying to see what else I have like notes wise. Um. Oh, so after the whole Batman exposing Togata as a man event
mm,
happens, she starts running away because she thinks that or Batman says that Togata's gonna backstab Agni eventually. So she runs away and then Agni chases her down. And then she shoots Agni. Togata shoots Agni to stop him from following her, but he basically begs her to stay and help. Agni will help her film the rest of her movie. There's a whole bunch of back and forth about you don't know a thing about me, which is coming from Togata's side. Um, and then that kind of closes, and then eventually we go to volume 5. Um,
Yeah, I think
before
that discussion.
yeah, because I think I was telling Aldrin this, but I think the scene between Togata and Agni like started was like that. Not to say that it like completely changed the story for me, but I felt like that was the first time that I started thinking like, oh, like this there's more to the story than just like all this random like killing and like dark stuff from
yeah, yeah.
humans, from humanity. Because like Togata was talking about like that Agni could change his perception of himself because of the way that people were perceiving him, but Togata didn't have that because people were perceiving him as like someone that he didn't feel like he was, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I feel like that's when I started like connecting the characters to like actual emotions and like these actual feelings that they were having during all this like shitty stuff that's going on. So I thought that was a pretty pivotal moment, at least for me. And I think it started that theme of um, like, because Agni has been like changing his view and his purpose because of all these other things that people need from him. And this was when Togata's like showing him that like that might be something that he shouldn't be doing, I guess, or like he needs to find a purpose that's true to him and not based off of what other people are trying to force upon him, I guess. I don't know. I just really like that moment, I think. For me,
Mhm.
I think that's when I started like, okay, there's like I can like keep reading this because there's stuff going on. That's that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in that moment, because that's like maybe the beginnings of Volume 5. That when they had that discussion, Agni was still not necessarily thinking for himself because he's still just trying to convince Ogata to stay to kind of direct him still, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, 100%. I do want to also chime in on what Jay had just said. So, our last discussion, I think I was the person that said it, but I think we all agreed that Agni at this point in time is so one track minded. He's very like kind of boring as a main character. I'm a huge main character guy, as you guys know. But I think like what he's done in the story thus far isn't anything like too significant aside from him like just trying to reach his goal and aside from killing Doma, he's trying to like reconnect with his sister. But he also thinks that Judah is his sister, which there's like a weird gray area with that. Um but actually before we move on to volume 5, the final chapter of 4, I'll kind of like reiterate the idea of Solya's plan for Judah because she's going to use her. Um so Judah is going to steal all the life from every living thing on Earth to fuel Judah with it. Or sorry, yeah, so Solya's going to do this to fuel Judah with it. All living things are going to die except Sulya. But it won't be enough to warm up the current ice age that they're in. Judah is gonna establish the roots and connect with other planets and steal all their life forces just to fuel herself. Um, the world will then start to warm, and then Suya will give birth to a new humanity and raise it by herself. She also predicts that Judah might not have a consciousness by the end of everything that happens if this plan actually goes into fruition. But she'll continue to live in a semi-permanent state. And Sulia's ultimate goal for living is to create a culture in order to watch the next Star Wars movie. Yeah. Um, because the last one that she watched ended on a cliffhanger, and the old world prohibited reading novels or watching movies, so basically made it illegal. Um, and I was like, "What the fuck? Where is this story going?" Because it doesn't make sense at all to me. Um, so yeah, with the introduction of Sulia in this volume, I was shocked, but also very confused because I'm like, bruh, like, where is this gonna go?
It's kind of random.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I thought low key, I was like, is this an ass pull? I was like, I don't know. This is I was kind of wavering in my opinion. After reading this chapter, I was like, I don't know if this is a very clear direction that the story is going in. Um,
I wonder
but
if it's like a translation thing.
I don't know.
Maybe
Mm,
it's more profound in Japanese, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Star Wars is a metaphor for a Japanese phrase instead.
yeah, what do you mean?
Because
Maybe it's
Star
like the
Wars is
concept is better.
Star Wars is futuristic. I don't know what year Star Wars takes place in, but like it's definitely in between our
Star Wars
current
takes place.
world. Can you say that again?
Star Wars takes place in the past.
Oh shit. Sorry, I'm so wrong.
Or does it?
I'm so wrong. I
I
thought it
think
was in the future.
um a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh,
Ah, that's
Do
true.
you have a year though?
No, I don't think we have
bro.
a year.
Damn
It's
it.
like XX something.
Yeah, different concept
I
every year.
thought I I was kind of surprised when uh the Ice Witch's motivation was also movie related because it was like we
Mhm.
already have one character in the story who's obsessed with movies and that's kind of like her thing. And now
Mm.
there's two characters who are obsessed with movies and like what is the deal with movies in this world? Like it's like why is everything about movies?
I was wondering that too, because I was like, why did Fujimoto have this recurring theme of movies? Like, out of all
Yeah.
the things he gave his character motives, why is it movies specifically? Does anybody know why he would pick movies?
I don't know, but
I
I
don't
feel like it
know.
has to branch out with like how okay, one is creativity. And then two is how like you can watch a movie um many years into the future and you will see like a glimpse of like what that time period was. And so I think for like Togata's character specifically, she's just very fascinated by that thing because the she discussed in her past that like her grandpa like put her on and she watched these films. And then we'll eventually discuss like the whole thing with Doma and films for him later on when we get there, but um I think it's just very significant the impact. I mean, you can probably choose another medium and it'll probably do the same thing, but I think films are like just timeless. And that's probably really significant to Fujimoto.
I think that's part of it. I also think it kind of relates to what Jaya was saying about Togata's uh like transgender identity
Mm.
and how people perceive you a certain way based on the way that you present and the way that you look. And at the same time, you have movies which are presenting a story in a very specific way and they're manipulating the audience by only showing certain parts of the truth. And that's kind of like the main thing for like the first three volumes is Togata's kind of like crafting this movie to paint Agni in a certain way. I don't know. I'm trying to like justify why the author chose to use movies in this way. I think it has something to do with like your personal identity and how you're perceived by other people and what they believe that to be is like similar to movies.
Yeah. Whether or
Yeah.
not they're doing it for themselves or being told what to do or simply acting like an actor would in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of recurring themes, like you said, of
Yeah,
identity.
yeah. Acting too comes up a few times.
Yeah. Actually, when you were just talking, Nick, it just reminded me of one of the chapters in volume 8. As it Togata is brought up again, and she talks about like I forget which actor she brought up, but it
Tom
mentions
Cruise.
she mentions Tom Cruise and like how cool he is, and that in every movie he's perceived as a cool guy, and so you think off camera he's still a really cool guy, but that's what they only see in films. So I think that's what that kind of aligns with Togata's goal of like, hey, I'm gonna make this movie about this cool guy, Agni, and what he's done, and I'm gonna show everyone like that he's a cool guy.
He's cool.
Yeah, that he's a
That's all.
cool guy. Um, but yeah, we'll discuss that again later. Okay, we'll dive into volume 5. Um, it starts with Agni and Togata again going back and forth about Togata's identity. Um, she says, "I have the brain of a man, but the body of a woman." And she wants to get a sex change, but unfortunately she can't because she has the regeneration powers, which sucks. And she's forced to think of herself as a female. Um, and Agni continues to beg for her to stay and help him. And then there's I think this theme of existentialism that happens between the two of them. Um, and in this volume we also get the reunion with Doma. Um, which kind of encapsulates there is a discussion that Agni, Ogata, and Doma have, and Doma asks what the people in the world are lacking. And he says that it's a proper education. And he says that if Agni dies, his people will be left with a culture of cannibalism. Um, and without proper education, the villagers that he has, his followers, they will turn dumb, and they won't actually end up being seen as human. They have a lack of imagination, creating a false sense of justice. And then I have chapter 43 as like the main talking point, which includes education, religion, abandonment of values, and adjustment, and brainwashing. Um, so I kind of want to quickly summarize this. Um, so this delves into how Doma became when very early into the manga, we saw that Doma was part of the military, and he was going from like village to village trying to find more blessed people. And then we kind of dive into like, oh, this is him in Behimu before he became part of the military. So he was basically brainwashed into watching a god burn down the demons of hell all through a movie. And this is where I think why Fujimoto decides to put something significant like movies in this, because it helps to influence people. Because the people of Behimu at the time were dumb as hell, and they had TV and movies to watch. And while Doma was growing up in Behimu, he saw this. This was kind of, I would assume, propaganda among all the people of the town. Um, and he saw this movie where God was burning down the demons of hell, and it lit a fire under Doma. And he later realized that it was a movie all along because he believed it was real life. And all of Behemoth's citizens had been watching the same exact thing over and over and over. And Doma eventually believed that this was um, a fake god's act, and he carried out murder under that fake god's name. So that's why he kept murdering people in several villages that we saw early in the story. Um, and then we see during this discussion that they have in the village, where Doma's currently living with 17 other children. Agni has a change of heart, and he decides to leave Doma and the kids alone. And then we see Agni hallucinating again, and then it causes him to, in a rage again, he kills Doma, and he burns the entire village to the ground, just like Doma did to him back then. Um, and it was just for a mere moment that he lost control of himself, and he was listening to the voice in his head. Um, and then shortly after this, he sees a little girl in the distance, on the hill of snow, and he thinks that it's Luna. And then
Again,
yeah, again, because
every girl is Luke.
every girl is Luna from his perspective. It's wild. So then he chases her. She goes into this frozen lake, and then Agni chases her onto it, and then Togata's still filming, and she chases after them, and Agni falls into the lake, and Togata leaps in to save him. But unfortunately, she dies because she has to physically touch Agni in order to save him from the lake. Um, so yeah, I thought that shit was so fucking sad. I was like, damn, there's no way that she's not gonna finish her film, bro. Um, there is some other stuff that happens, but I want to get your thoughts on like the whole Agni acting out again, killing Doma, because this is what Mary was kind of confused about before she like continued reading the story on Thursday, Friday. Mary, do you want to give your thoughts on what happened?
I was just thinking, like, I think one of the things I've been thinking about since I finished the story the past couple days is like, what is the main overall overarching like message or theme of the story? You know, like we see how it ends in the last volume, and then I was kind of just rereading the last couple chapters because I was like still kind of confused in the way that like I was trying to connect maybe different relationships with like different events with like something else to kind of be like, oh, this makes sense why this happened. So maybe the overarching theme or message of the story is this, but I couldn't really like figure out like what the main like message of the story was, I guess. But like us talking about different little themes like identity and then like the influence that movies have on people and probably like some other themes here and there throughout the story. I'm like, is it less about the whole story and like what the whole story means, or is it more like the different like interactions and messages that we get in each like volume with like the different characters, if that makes sense?
Maybe it's. I just thought of this just now, but is it like everybody has like a story that they're writing of their lives, and because actually one other thing that we didn't really touch upon, but I'm gonna touch upon now, is that when Agni falls into the water and Togata saves him, there's like this flashback or memory thing of them in a movie theater,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
and what you mentioned at the start of this discussion was that Togata had said at her what she thinks at the end of the life is like you're in a movie theater, is I
Hmm.
think is what you said. And this is literally a scene. Actually, if I just might as well just show what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Is it the girl in the lake?
So God, I have to enable everything. Hold on.
I
I just
can.
downloaded.
Do you have the chapter pulled up? I can find the chapter for you too.
Yeah, so go to chapter 48.
48. Have to go.
So it's almost like what I was gonna say is that up until that point, everyone has like a story, and at the end of the line is like the movie, and you play a reel of what your life was. So you see in the seat, it's I'm assuming that's okay. Let's link the stream. Is this 48? Okay, scroll down. Okay, so in here is like a seat, and that looks like it's Luna, right? Because she's dead. She's in a
Yeah.
movie theater because she's dead. And then Agni's about to walk up, pull up to his seat until Togata yanks him away, and she
Mhm.
takes a seat because she's about to die, and she's
Mhm.
like, "Watch, this is my life
Yeah.
that's about to play."
Yeah.
So, is it that the overarching theme is that your life could be a movie, and you might have a role or like things that people tell you what to do, or it could be a life in which you like decide how you wanna end it?
How would you connect that to like the last volumes or all of that stuff happened? I think that's where I was trying to think about like the last couple chapters of like spoiler but not spoiler whatever, like him becoming San and then like him forgetting about everything that he did and stuff like that, and like the future and what the future looks like, right? Like that's why I'm like that's probably like plausible, but I think there's probably just like more different little themes and messages here and there, but not necessarily one that like encapsulates everything.
Yeah,
That's like what I
there's a lot
think.
of things.
Yeah. Because I think we're just used to having like, oh, this story, the symbolism is this, or the whole story, it all led to this. But I was really trying to think, and I couldn't think of anything. So I was like, is it just like a story, and we just see these little interactions and volumes and chapters, and we just pick up these little themes here and there? You know what I mean?
Could it be a
Guess it's
metaphor?
not.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead,
gonna
Justin. Go ahead.
could it be a metaphor of that you take kind of sounds cheesy. You take a piece of somebody in your life, just like how Agni took a piece of San in a way. Like that like makes up your story of who you are.
Mm.
Even though they have memories of each other, but it's more like, oh, you're the reincarnate of San. You need to, or was it your? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going with that.
Okay.
Sorry, Elgin, what were you gonna say?
No, I think it was still like kind of in the realm of existentialism,
Yep.
Yeah, like
trying to find your
nihilism.
Mhm.
purpose.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but also a lot of it did feel like kind of just reading a story for a story.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it doesn't always necessarily have a moral or like what's a better word? Not moral, but like
Like a
a
meaning.
theme, meaning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Mm,
I think that's the beauty of it. Like we have to add the reason for each of it.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the themes that we're seeing like plays into existentialism of like finding a purpose, finding your like they're in this world that's like falling apart. Like Agni's like trying to cling to something that will make him want to keep because he's like I don't know if we're going too far ahead, but he's like bouncing back between like wanting to live and wanting to die. And the only reason he's wanting to live is because he's getting pushed by like being told just to live. Like he's being told like by Luna to live and Togata tells him to live and everyone's telling him like, oh, go be this god or go be this hero or um go destroy that guy, go destroy this guy that I think is a villain, like he's like trying to find a reason to keep going because other people told him to keep going. And I feel like the overarching like theme is like finding that purpose and like but like trying to find it for yourself or like if it's even all worth it in the end. Like I guess your interpretation of the ending is like if you believe it's worth it or if you think it's not worth it, if you thought that um I don't know if we're jumping too far ahead, sorry, to the ending, but I think that's just what I got from it was like you deciding if Agni's actions were worth it, if he doing all these things and living through all this life that he did um like paid off, I guess, or like gave him what he needed, what he wanted, and if that's something that we should all be going towards, or if like, oh, like it doesn't matter, like nothing matters, like it's just the world will be what it is. That's it.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just what I got from it.
Um, I love that you guys brought up existentialism, because I think we see it actually from the first two chapters. I don't think it includes chapter 0, but it's very prevalent in chapter 1 and 2. where when Doma burns down Agni's village for the first time, and Agni, as he's like literally on fire, he tells himself in his head, I just want to die. I just want to die. Die, die, die. Because my life has no meaning. I will be together with the rest of my family if I die here. And when Luna tells him to live before she turns into ashes, I think that basically kickstarts Agni's purpose in life. And I think for Agni, for him to run with this for the rest of the story, also picking up other goals along the way of like I need to kill Doma. I need to kill the Ice Witch. Yeah, he's very one track minded, like I just need to kill this, I need to kill that, I need to see my sister, I need to save her again. Um I think that's just so prevalent from volume 5 and onward, because we see him, like JR brought up, we see him ping ponging back and forth. I'm like, what should I do? Should I live? Should I die? Do I have another goal that I have to achieve? And then when we get to the end, we'll discuss it. But I think it's existentialism is one of the main themes, if not the main theme, that like overarches the entire story. Because for Agni, he has to find his own purpose and meaning in his life. And I won't say the quote yet, but I'll bring up what Judah says later on. But she basically alludes um to us as the audience, where like I just realized that people need to live their own life to find their own purpose. But we'll talk about that later. Talk um um okay, so at the end of volume 5, after Agni kills Doma, and after Togata dies by his hands as well, Agni carries her body back to the village. And upon reaching the village, he sees this huge tree. Huge fucking tree. Um, and we learn to realize that it's Judah. And she is starting her plan with Sulia, where she is sucking every single life force in order to fuel the world and make it become warm again. Um, and then at the basically at the end of the volume, Agni falls to his knees and Togata crumbles in his hand. Um, and then we get to volume 6. Trying to figure out what chapter. Volume 6 starts with chapter 50. Um, so Judah, now that she's a tree, she talks to Agni, saying that he needs to kill her at the top. And Judah reveals that she's the one that created Behimu, created Doma, and killed Luna. And Agni's new life goal now is to kill Judah. So again, he's just picking up these freaking character arcs one by one. His new arc is to kill Judah because she basically says, "Hey, I'm the one that created this world for us, and you're the one that's gonna be the one to end it." And at the beginning of the volume, there's a lot of back and forth about Judah being Luna. I ask, I'm like, is she really Luna, or is she trolling us and Agni? Um, and then I pulled some quotes saying once Judah dies, her body will become Luna's. That's what Agni says. And I think there's a lot of delusion going on here. And then after Agni beats Judah to a pulp at the top of the tree, there's this weird scene where there's like a picture of Agni and Luna as kids that comes out after he like beats her ass. And then we're teleported to a new world. At least to me it seems like we're teleported to a new world because Agni wakes up on the beach with Judah or Luna. I'm just gonna call her Judah for now because that's who we last see. They're on a
Sure.
beach. What's up?
Pretty sure it is Judah. I mean, it's confusing, and we can talk about it, but
Yeah,
it is Judah at this point.
yeah. So they both wake up on the beach. They're naked. Agni has no fire powers anymore, and it seems that Judah completely erased them from him. Um, and then Judah has her memory wiped, which I think is kind of crazy. One of the themes that I think is very prominent here, or actually two themes, are identity and change. Um, and then this is kind of where Agni meets a whole group of like a small group of ladies. They kind of take the two of them in, they kind of raise them, and then Agni learns to save people, but at what cost? Um, and eventually the ladies uh that take them in, they used to be Doma's students, and we also learn that one of them, Tina, is Doma's daughter, and Tina asks Agni to kill Fire Punch because she had realized that Fire Punch killed her family way back when. Um, so yeah, not too much to discuss in volume 6, I think. Um, were you guys kind of confused when at the transition of Agni beating up Judah and then them ending up on the beach? Because I was so confused, bro.
Yes. I was very confused. I couldn't tell if this was another like dream sequence. But then it kind of just keeps going on, and so I eventually just kind of like accepted that this was reality.
Mhm.
I felt confused. Also, how does he lose his arm?
Um, Let me go back to my like
Did he
notes
always
notes.
lose his arm from the beginning?
No, he always had
It
his
just keeps
right.
regenerating.
He always had his right? Yeah, because he kept regenning. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it was foreshadowing because in chapter 0 we saw them like Agni kept cutting off his arm, and it was always his right
Right.
arm. It was prominently his right arm. I don't know if that is like related at all, but yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That it was like, um, because he was beating up Judah at the top of the tree,
Hmm.
that his powers got taken away, and the fire went away, and his arm went away.
Hmm.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Mary, were you confused, Confucius, at this
All the time, not all
transition?
the time.
All the time, the whole time.
Like, I think I understand like what the story is, and like, okay, we read the stories of the story, but then yeah, there's like little things here and there. Is like, for example, like the panels are drawn a certain way, and I have to like sit there and kind of like decide like what is this, like what's happening, who is that, what point in time are we at? That's probably just where like the confusion comes and goes. It's just like, you're like reading it, but then like it transitions to something else, and you're kind of like, okay, now what are we like doing, you know?
Mm.
I
It's kind of
100% agree.
fast.
I feel like the way that the everything's drawn and like the transitions from scenes is like it's just like you're always like randomly seeing Agni on fire, and then like there's like a burnt corpse, and then there's like a
Mhm.
picture of like somebody from a flashback, but also there's like four characters who look really similar. So it's like, is this a flashback of Luna as a kid, or is this Judah now? And like, I'm constantly confused and having to like go back and
I'm glad. Me too. Okay,
figure out
great.
what's going on.
Yeah, over our
Yeah, I
text
think it's hard
convo.
too.
Go, Jay. Go, Jay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
just
You
saying,
go.
I think it's hard too because some of the characters are drawn to look similar on purpose, which like confused me a lot. Like not
And there's no
knowing.
color.
Yeah.
Should we reread it but color it as we read? Psych,
Where's my
psych.
marker?
Alcohol markers?
Yeah, everyone come over. Coloring bee.
Yeah. Okay, Mary, I want to go back to our text convo on
Yeah.
a few days ago. So, Mary had texted me on Thursday after I woke up. And then she's like, "What chapter did you leave off? I have questions." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in like the early 60s or some shit." And then her questions were, "Did he kill Doma by the frozen lake? Was that a flashback of him destroying his city? Like Doma didn't do it, but Agni actually did it, or and is Togata dead?" So I answered all the questions, and then you were like, "And what was that thing that came out of him? Was it like a part of him or something else?" And it was when Agni like punched Doma through the chest, and Doma was still like attached to Agni's arm. And I was like, "Wait, can you send me a picture?" And I like looked at it, I was like, "Oh, this is clearly like Doma, like literally being set on fire by the man." And what did you think it was at first, Mary?
I don't know, bro. Him, like some other form of him inside, and it's manifesting as something.
Hey, Marion, I thought the exact same thing. What chapter is it?
Confusion is fine.
I can tell you. 45.
Because I'm also still confused about why he kills Doma. Like he talks to Doma. He's like, "Wow, I have nothing to gain by killing this person. I won't. It won't bring me happiness." And then he walks away. And he has like a dream.
He has a dream of Luna
Luna, and then
telling
Luna's
him,
like, "You should kill Doma,"
yeah.
and he's like, "Well, Doma apologized," and she's like, "Nah, he's just faking it," which is like really out of character
No, I
for
don't think
Luna.
I
so.
think
I
it's
don't
like
think so.
intrusive thoughts taking over.
I think also intrusive thoughts.
Thoughts?
Bipolar.
Yeah,
He's
also
still
it could
like
be that. It could be that.
Um, yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, okay, Marianne. I thought the exact same thing because in chapter 45, like it cuts directly from Luna saying, kill Doma, become
Become the
Fire
fire
Punch.
punch. Yeah.
Then we see, Agni's face, and he's holding. Yeah, he's got his arm.
Like
It's got
this, like through the screen, like freaking we don't see Doma's face cuz he's already sizzled like bacon.
yeah. But when I first looked at the way that it's drawn, I thought it was something coming out of Agni. I thought it was like some kind of manifestation of his former self or something.
Okay, wow, that's crazy cuz I didn't see that. I saw it like right away. I was like, "Oh fuck." Cuz
It
I
just didn't
mean,
make sense to me because he just said like I'm not going to kill Doma. So then
yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah, yeah. Because again, I think this is very much it relates to Agni's character and his like goal because he's just oriented right now. Because his very first goal after Luna told him to live, and he went through the 8 years of suffering or whatever the fuck in the winter, him trying to get used to his powers, was I'm gonna kill Doma. And then when he saw Doma the first time in Behimu, he was like, he's an old ass fucking man. I'm not gonna kill him. And then he realizes all these things that Doma has done to him, and he's like, fuck, I need to kill him. And then he sees Doma again in this village, taking care of 17 orphan kids. And then I this is when I think this is probably related to Agni sleeping and having sleeping problems. Because in volume 7, we'll get to that, but he like stops getting sleep. But um when he sleeps, I think he only dreams of the last moments with Luna, and that fuels him. It like remotivates him again to like carry out the goal that Luna like wants to do. Her overarching goal, Luna's overarching goal is like protect me and we'll see the world when it's warm again. But she died. And then she's like, "Okay, live for me. I will live vicariously through you." Um so I think when Agni falls asleep, Luna just tells him, "He's a fucked up dude. He killed me. He killed mom and dad. He killed everyone else. You got to kill him. Get your revenge." So that's where I think and it I wrote it in my notes. I'm like, for in a mere moment, he like snapped and he's like, all right, I'm gonna just turn into the Hulk and fucking kill everybody. Yeah.
He's
So
schizophrenic.
yeah, basically. It doesn't take him much, but like the smallest thing can just trigger him to go off. And
Yeah, it makes
we've
sense.
already seen it a lot in the manga.
He's also super traumatized, and he talks about how, like, when he's begging Togata to stay, he's like, I have the mind of a child because I've been constantly burning to death for the last 10 years. And, like, he literally
I
can't,
didn't really
like,
grow up.
he's one track mind because he literally can't think about anything because he's just, like, constantly overloaded with the pain
Mhm.
of being on fire.
Yeah.
So, like, he just has one goal at a time and he's just living to do that one thing. So he doesn't have time to, like, really think about reasons. And yeah, I agree with you what you said. He's just like traumatized and fucked up and like doesn't doesn't make good decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I think some other key takeaways from volume 6. Agni, when they show up on the beach washed up, Agni tries to convince himself that Judah is not Luna and that he has to kill Judah, but as he goes in for another punch, she hugs him. And I think this point of contact for them to literally touch each other, it just opened Agni's eyes to like, okay, she doesn't know a thing. Like her memory is completely wiped. Let me just tell her that I'm her brother and I'll go along with it. And it actually ends up being a good thing for about 10 years. Um this is kind of where we transition into volume 7. Trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't cover. I think we got everything. So volume 7, I think the main theme for this one was guilt. Um so Agni and Judah are still living with the four ladies. Oh, actually, wait. I think I forgot the other massacre that Agni pulled off. We forgot to discuss that. So among the four ladies that Agni and Judah were staying with, there were these, I'll just call them like cultists. Um that actually kidnapped one of the ladies. So the ladies, all their names are Tina, Leanne, Ia, and Lano. Lennox or Lano. I'll just call her Lano. Um, so they get one of the ladies gets kidnapped, and then Agni goes to save her because and this all happens at night because before Luna tries to sleep, she's like, I really want to live a happy life here. And then Agni picked up another life goal of, okay, I'm going to make Judah's life very safe for everyone. So he goes to the house or the cabin where all these cultists are praying, and he basically massacres all of them again, even though he doesn't have fire powers. He just has, at this point in the story, he has his regenerative abilities. Um, and yeah, he murders all of them. Unfortunately, Ia dies. And I was kind of confused whether or not she had died to Agni's hands or to the cultists. But I guess for narrative sake, let's just say she died to the cultists because I don't want Agni to be responsible for her death.
He was trying to save her, right?
Yeah, he was trying to save her ultimately, but like in his rage, obviously, like he's killed so many innocent people. That's just my headcanon. I don't want him to freaking kill a young girl. Um,
I
uh,
think he
y-
was trying to prove himself to the
to
salt
the
factory girls,
yeah.
right? So he's like, I'm gonna try and save the two that are missing
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from the group.
yeah. Okay, I just found a quote that I pulled from chapter 59. I came to save. No, that's not right. I came to protect Luna. That's what Agni says. This is after he says in his head to become Fire Punch again via Luna. Um, but since he's not like on fire himself, during this massacre, he sets himself on fire again. But after it, he's able to regenerate just fine. Okay, so now we get to volume 7. Again, like I said, the main theme I think in this is guilt. 10 years pass by, and Agni loses his sense of taste, showing emotion in his face, and he couldn't really sleep anymore.
From
Um,
the because
what's up?
he also loses the feeling of like cold and warmth, and
Mm-hmm,
that's right when he first washes up on the beach with Judah.
mm-hmm,
Um, so I think like something about losing his uh the fire or losing his memory or something like he like he loses this big part of being alive, which is like taste and sleep and stuff.
mm-hmm,
I think that starts from the beginning,
mm-hmm.
like before the 10-year time skip.
Yeah. Um, Also, um, Tina reminds Agni about killing the fire punch because after it was first brought up, Tina also told Agni like, "Hey, you can just chill out. You can regen your right arm. And then whenever you're ready, go kill fire punch for me." And then right after Tina's request, Agni heads back to bed, and then Judah questions who the fire punch is to Agni while they're sleeping. And Judah tells Agni if Agni was actually Fire Punch, she would tell him to stop killing. And again, I think this part opened Agni's eyes to his core values and like what he should be doing with his life. The current reality that we're living in is still real. This is what I said. The world did warm temporarily for 10 years, but it's slowly reverting back to the ice age cold environment that we saw earlier in the story. Um, so yeah, that really kind of cleared things up for me once we found out that everyone else is still like in the world. Because for a while we only saw Agni, Judah, and then the four ladies. And then we are reintroduced again to Jack and Sulia at the village, and their goal is to kidnap Judah and use her to warm the world again as the tree. Um, And then we meet San again after 10 years, where he masters his blessing and he becomes an instant badass, bro. Like we saw it
He's
right
pretty
away.
sick.
He's sick.
Sounds pretty sick.
Yeah. Um and then while Jack and Sulia are divulging about their goal to kidnap Judah, they also want San to I guess re-brainwash or reprogram Agni to be a different version of himself instead of like the very one-track minded. Because it sounds like San has kind of overtaken the village as its leader because Agni disappeared for 10 years. And while this discussion is happening, San basically chops off Jack and Sulia's heads, which I was not expecting. I was like, yeah, they were like slandering his god's name in front of him, and he's like, I can't stand this anymore. Cling cling, gone. They're fucking dead, bro. I was like, holy shit, he has so much aura right now, bro. He got the
He's a
prosthetic.
devout follower.
He's a devout. Yeah, he has. He's the number one fucking like Twitch donator to Agni's
Number one
stream, bro.
Agni stan, dude. Agni stan.
Yeah, basically. Um, and there is an attempt to kidnap Judah at the salt factory. And what we also find out was at least once during this 10-year um period, San went out to find Agni. and he actually did find him, and he did leave Agni alone because he wanted Agni to be happy, which I like fully respect. Um, so the kidnapping attempt is made, and it turns out successful, but Agni returns as Fire Punch, despite Tina telling Agni to give up on chasing Judah. And he chases down Nen, who actually returns as well, and the team that kidnapped her. Um, does anyone have any thoughts on Volume 7, or if there was anything that I kind of missed that you thought was important? Nick?
Um,
I think he he got burned by the daughter, right?
Tina's daughter?
Yeah. What's the name? Iya.
Iya, yeah.
The new Iya.
Yeah, new Iya.
The new Iya. And that's how he regains his powers back or his fire again.
Hmm.
And then he went crazy. Did he kill them?
So, yeah, the military that was sent to kidnap Iya, or kidnap Judah, included Sharkhead, and then it was a whole bunch of military people with guns, and they
Did
got
he kill the girls?
No.
like the salt factory girls. No.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
But I
yeah.
think after he got his fire back, he lost himself, right? That he became Fire Punch.
Yeah, I want to discuss that actually in the next volume, because I think it's very prominent, and it is dealt with when San and Agni have another reunion. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so I
So,
think the kidnap triggered him
mhm,
into reverting back. Same with all the other episodes, I guess, if you want to call it that.
yeah.
Where he kills Judah, or he kills Doma. This is another episode for him
Mm-hmm.
reverting back and not really thinking for himself. Or
Mm-hmm.
intrusive thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, I did miss something. So before the whole kidnapping had taken place, Nen came and reached out to Agni. And he actually name dropped Agni right in front of Judah and Iya. And they hadn't seen each other in 10 years again. And she warns Agni of the people that are coming to take Judah to use her as the tree again. And then that's where she reveals that San spied on Agni's location previously, and then Agni has to make a decision within 24 hours. But obviously that doesn't happen in 24 hours. It happens the same damn day, but it happens at nighttime. Um, and then also before this kidnapping happens, Agni gives Judah a hypothetical situation. Of either do you save Agni or everyone else if um there's like a fireplace in the house that they're staying in, and you can only choose one person or like a group of people. And Judah only says she will save Agni. Um, he questions it, saying, is it because everyone else is scared of me? And then Judah says she chooses Agni because she loves him. That's her quote unquote brother. And then right after this, they exchange a kiss and they have sex, which is kind of wild to me. Um, and then after the act is done, the other girls from the salt factory line up right outside the bedroom
They get
with
raided.
AK-47s, and they're ready to shoot Agni. And then Tina approaches Agni and she's like, "Okay, I know that Agni is Fire Punch. Are you actually Agni, or are you like a different person?" Um, and then yeah, the kidnapping takes place immediately as these events are transpiring, and then Sharkhead has a lot of aura when he comes back, cuts Agni's arm into different filet mignons or some shit, and then Agni rages again, bruh, and then Sharkhead damn near kills Agni, but Agni just comes back and freaking massacres everyone except the girls. Um, and actually, I don't think. Do you guys think that Sharkhead died to Agni, or did Agni just leave him alone by the end of everything? Because like Sharkhead was like, "I'm tired, just kill me now, please." But we didn't see him do it. Do you think he did it off screen or what?
I did not think that.
Yeah, I don't think he killed him.
You probably didn't kill him. Yeah, because this is when
Wait,
like
is this when the dot when what's her name, Tina? Is
yeah,
this when she's like stood in front of him?
yeah. He's about to
Oh,
like
okay,
punch him, and then he like stops.
okay.
Yeah.
Although, doesn't it really matter?
Yeah, I don't think he killed him, or it didn't seem like I didn't have a thought that he had killed him off screen. I think he just didn't kill him.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Maybe you kill them somewhere else.
He probably died of age. No, he's a blessed one. I don't know where he would have gone. To be honest. Um. Yeah, I think that's it. For volume 7. All right. Final volume, volume 8. Golly. All right, this is where Agni is revived as Fire Punch, and he is chasing down that ass, and he's trying to come on that ass.
Irate.
So, yes. So, he chases and chases and chases to get Judah back.
Slam time.
Judah makes it back with Nen in the truck during the kidnapping. And then oh my god. And then
San
San
sees him.
San sees San sees Judah and he's like, I'm gonna set you on fire right now. You are gonna be a sacrifice. In front of all these people. Um and again, I don't know if San knows that Judah was the tree. Do you guys think that he's aware that Judah's a tree or not?
He was there when he saw, because they drove back, right? And they saw
Yeah, they drove back.
the tree.
Hmm.
I don't know if he knew.
I thought he knew because they talked about it like in that room, like him and
With Sulia and
Yeah.
Jack.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sun is very clouded because of his number one Twitch donator to Agni stream kind of mentality. Um,
I like his character arc.
Sun?
Yeah.
Dude, he like got his prosthetics and then went MIA.
No, but like if you think back
And
to
years
when we
later,
started
comes
with
back.
him, when he was just like a stupid boy
Oh yeah,
running
yeah,
around naked. It's like, oh, I have a penis. Oh, you don't have a penis? I do.
yeah.
And then he turns into this badass with his like Blade Runner legs,
Yeah, yeah,
fighting his god.
yeah,
Pretty sick.
yeah. Um,
Leading a
say that again, Nick.
leading a religion is like the number one Agni follower.
Oh yeah. P.
Just like
Dude,
some
yeah, I
fascinating
see.
character.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get out of the car. And then San says he's gonna set Judah on fire in front of everyone. And then Nen says no. Agni isn't a god, and he's just a regular ass human being.
Just a dude.
He's just a dude. And then San, being so blinded by Agniism, fully believes that Agni is the miracle on earth, the miracle for San. And then San, being disgusted by Nen's non-Agniism beliefs, asks Nen to show the people if she can bear his flames. And then San is like getting ready to set Nen on fire, but Doesn't happen. The stick that's on fire actually begins to grow into a tree, which halts the burning. And honestly, when I saw this, I was like, "Who is doing this? Is it um Judah
Yeah,
that's doing it?"
that confused me too.
I was like,
He
Nen
can
doesn't
control it.
Nen doesn't have powers. It's only Judah, but I don't know if there's this subconscious part of Judah that's like, "Oh, hey, I need to save myself. Let me just set this on. Let me just put this tree on this freaking burning stick." That's just something I haven't really wrapped my head around fully yet. It's chapter
Isn't he lighting it with his knife?
75. Yes, but like, yeah, he's about to touch Nen with it, but it turns into a tree or like it starts growing into a tree. It's the start of 75, chapter 75. Still kind of
Dude, I sent
confused.
that to you. Remember, I was like, "This is so funny out of context. I will become a tree."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, you don't?
I think
Okay.
in the moment I assumed it was Judah, but I guess looking back,
Not
I mean, I don't know
specified.
that for sure.
Yeah, we don't know it for sure. I mean, there's no one else in the village that is blessed aside from San and Judah. Actually, they're no. Well, he's irrelevant. He died. Um, but yeah, I mean, my head canon is just gonna say it's probably Judah that did it, or some like person overlooking Judah. Um, so the burning doesn't happening, and then San begins to choke Judah midair, but he lets go of her because he sees his own face. And this is where I questioned: is this another power that Judah has? Anyone that touches her or anything that she touches will see who they desire. Um, and so I don't know if that's like San sucking his own D, but like he sees himself and he's like, "Whoa, why am I choking myself? Let me just let go really quick." It's like
I thought
whenever
they always look the same though.
you think
Nope.
San and Judah look the same?
Yeah, that's
They're
what
from
I
the
thought
same
too.
cloth.
Oh wait, I did think that was something that we discussed 2 months ago. Wait, hold
Remember
up. It
earlier
could be a
this
the throwback, bro.
session we were talking about the blonde hair, blue eyes? I feel like
Yes.
he's in that
Very much
category.
right.
So him seeing her kind of like messed him up a little bit. Little reality check, you know.
Like burning his own kind or killing his own kind. Because I
She looks
think
very similar to him.
yeah, I
I was
think
like, if I do this, then I would be doing this to myself on a
yes.
self-reflection mode.
Hold up. I need to go to that chapter. It's 75.
Existentialism kind of, you know.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Because I'm
I'm
trying
looking
to
at it now. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
it, okay, to me, dude, I think it's very obvious. Okay, I'm here at chapter 7. I don't think they look alike at all.
But that
So
was
why did
like what he said.
It's
He said that
similar.
that's why he stopped because he said like, why do they look like? Because that's why I was confused about the whole like like the people before them, like all looking the same. So I
The
was like,
former
but
era.
San, like, does that mean San is one of them, or he just happens to look like them? Like that part didn't make sense to me at all.
I
I
think
don't
he
know,
is a
bro.
descendant. Like Judah is a descendant.
Well,
Judah's not
Judah's
thousands of
God.
years old.
Judah's God.
But we know that she was like 13, 15 when her dad was like, "You're gonna lead this religion."
Yeah.
So she was born recently.
Okay. I'm gonna read the quote that San says while he's choking Judah. Pause. He says, "Your face. It looks like mine. Why are
Yeah,
you?" And that's it. That's it.
and then drops her.
Drops her. Do you think it has to do something with that race thing?
I
I
don't
think they're
know.
cut from the same cloth.
That's why I
Yeah,
was confused because I
yes,
was like, does that like does is that implying? Because Judah and
son.
what's her name, Sulia,
Oh, Sulia.
like they were talking about, oh
I
yeah, haven't
switch.
you noticed we look the same because we're both from this?
Yes.
They're
We're
from
both from
former era.
right.
Yeah. They're the
People.
old gen. They're the OGs.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
so is this supposed to mean that San is also like? Because I don't know why else they would say like, oh, you look like me.
I don't know. I think I took it quite literally. I was like, oh, San is choking himself because he looks at Judah and he sees himself. But you guys are kind of like opening my eyes to like seeing this race thing.
It doesn't really make sense though, because like it's not the first time that Sun has seen Judah. And kind of what you mentioned before, Oliver, that like maybe Judah has this power. Like
Yeah,
there's not a lot of evidence for that, but it kind of makes sense because he doesn't say that until he touches her.
yeah,
Like I'm going through chapter 74, and like they're talking. He's not like confused that she's. It's just like so random that he's just like, "Whoa, you look like me."
yeah. Cause like, okay, I'm gonna bring it back a little bit again. Like when Agni is punching Judah in the tree, he's like
Yeah.
punching her, and he's like, "Damn, Luna's gonna come back. Luna's gonna come back. Like Judah's gonna turn into Luna." And then he sees her, and then he's like, "Whoa, is this Luna?" And then they show up on the beach, and then he sees her, and he's like, "It's Judah. I gotta beat her up again, and then Luna's gonna come back." And then he's gonna punch her, and then they hug, and then he's like, "Oh wait, that's my little sister." Like I think there's this weird connection with physical touch. I don't know. I'm just like that's just me trying to draw one line out of my ass and one line from the air. Like I'm trying to connect the two dots, bro. It's kind of tough for me. But I asked that to myself this morning. I was while I was reading. I was like, is this another fucking gimmick that she has? Like what the fuck?
Also, who has the power to grow into a tree?
Judah.
Is that a power that Sulia has and then gives to Judah, or like forces Judah to do, or is that something that Judah was always able to do?
I
I
Because
think
think it's like an
chapter
inherent.
in that same chapter where just before Sun is choking Judah, he's like holding a torch, and
yes.
then tree starts growing out of it.
Yes.
Is that Judah doing that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, is that Judah doing that shit? Cuz Nen can't do it. She don't got powers. There's
Yeah.
everyone else that's like watching
Julia's
this
dead.
happen. Yeah, Sulia's dead. Jack is dead.
Okay, so
Um,
Judah just has, like tree growing abilities, which
yeah,
also allow it to like suck life force out of things and turn it into warmth.
yeah. Cuz
I think it's because she's an old era.
yeah,
She's
she's
an
an
OG.
OG. That's why I think she has that ability. She's an OG.
Yes.
And also this is probably like some random bullshit I'm pulling out of my ass. When when Sulia and Judah are in the cabin for the first time after volume 3. Um I think when Sulia pulls down her coat, like her hoodie, and she looks like Judah, it's probably because she touched Judah. I think that's why I don't know, bro. I could be pulling it out of my ass right now. I swear to God. I
She
just
has that
don't know.
branch sticking out of her eye.
Yeah, I know, but like in my mind, I
And
was
they look
like,
the
here,
same.
I will read you the fucking no. I was like, dude, Suya looks like Luna. I'm pretty sure I wrote that shit down. I'm pretty sure I wrote that shit down.
Yeah, Sulia looks like Luna, who looks like Judah, who
Judah.
looks like Sa.
No, I don't think they look like
Yes.
Sun. No,
Yeah, bro.
bro, no.
Dude,
They
that's literally
do.
what San
They're not
said.
Dude, I don't
It's
think
just a
so.
guy version. Dude, if Doma was alive, San would look like Doma at some
No
point.
shot, no shot.
You're just saying that all
Doma
of
has the center part in his hair,
Yeah,
like
they're the
before he
Sun
before
don't got shit.
that's the only difference.
Sun don't got
That's the
legs,
only
man.
difference.
Sun don't got
That's the only
legs.
difference is the mid part and the legs.
and the
What?
electric, because
He's an electric
San
type.
got lightning and Doma got fire. But nah, bro. I think there's some weird touchy shit with Judah's powers, honestly.
There's,
Um,
I mean, I think they said it that they have all the powers back then, right?
they do,
So
yeah, yeah,
maybe that's why Judah was the special one, that she has everything
yeah,
and she's the last one or something.
yeah. Okay. All right, let me steer this. Let me steer the ship again. Fucking Odysseus type shit. All right. So
And it's not. We're not gonna make it then.
everyone is gonna die. um. Okay. So while this
Spoiler.
altercation is happening, while this altercation is happening between San and Nen and Judah, Agni finally pulls up. Finally fucking pulls up, bruh. And then Agni asks San to give Judah back because Agni's still convinced that Judah's Luna.
We
He's
need to make
like,
one distinction here,
okay,
because when he leaves the battle with the soldiers, is that he's not Agni.
oh, that's true. Okay, so, and I'm gonna kind of tie this in, but I think when Agni got revived as Fire Punch, he got an old save file. I honestly,
Edited.
I think that's fucking accurate.
That's pretty accurate.
Wait, Nick, what did you say?
No, I kind of see what you're saying. Like he just triggered old memories, and he kind of, I don't know. What did you mean? He got a new.
It's just the intrusive thoughts of what took over this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just a one-time
he's
takeover. It's
crazy
like a hostile takeover.
because he's a fucking lunatic,
He is.
out of his
Yeah.
mind.
Honestly, out of his fucking mind, bro.
He doesn't have
Um,
a mind.
yeah, he doesn't. Okay, so San says, "Hell no, I'm not giving you your bitch back." And then the two fucking fight, and then San, in his mind, while he's fighting Agni, says that Agni is a villain. And I wrote this. I'm like, damn, San lived long enough to see Agni become the villain in his story. Um,
Ooh,
you know
it's
how
the
hard
intrusive
that
thoughts.
hard that bar goes hard, bro. No cap. Um, and then after San temporarily defeats Agni, San says, "Oh, that's not the real Agni. He was just testing me." And little does fucking San know that that's the real Agni. And Agni again
Agni's
on the brink of death, about to fizzle up and fucking crumble. Luna says to live, and then he crawls forward, daps up fucking San's kneecap or his calf, and sets San ablaze. And then San fucking begging for Agni to fucking turn off the fire. He's like, "Psych, bitch! I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm trying to save my fucking sister right here."
I don't think he can anyway.
Well, yeah, yeah,
But Sun thinks that he's a god and can do anything. So
mm-hmm,
like, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, even if he wanted to, I don't think he could have.
yeah.
No.
And then after San dies, Agni is then hugged by Judah, and the two exchange another kiss. And then
Hmm.
Judah, she's like, "Give me that fucking wet one, baby." Lays it on him. She touches his face with her left hand, I think, actually. And then she turns off his fire. And then, boom, half of his fucking skull disintegrates. And then Agni
His whole
falls to the
body
ground.
goes away.
No, it's still there. His whole body's still intact. Um, Agni's body falls to the ground, and then Nen pulls up. She's like, "I pull up. I'm on."
I'm a
And then
man.
she
And
and then she sees Agni's lifeless body on the ground, but next to Agni's burned up body is another Agni and Judah, which is
See, that
wild. It's wild.
confused me.
They're
Yeah.
both naked. They're both naked. And then Judah says to Nen, "I have regained all my memories. I have one favor of to ask of you, Nen." And she's like, "Make this man happy," pointing to Agni. Agni is no longer anything, and that this is her only prerequisite in order for her to become the tree again. So Nen takes Agni, and then time flies by. Judah becomes the tree, and then Agni becomes his old buff self again with no powers, no memory, nothing. Everything is completely wiped. And then 80 years later, we see Agni in a theater, and as he's leaving the theater, there's an employee that tells him, "Hey, Nan is going to be dining in heaven soon. So please see her." So Agni visits Nan's deathbed. And then there's this weird fucking thing where like Agni is renamed as San by Nen. And I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening here, bro?
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. But to me, I was like, why did you fucking why
That's her
this?
attachment.
It
That's her
yeah,
attachment.
yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then um I'll just call him San. Fuck it, I'll just call him San for now. So San is about to leave the movie theater, and the world has officially like turned warm again at this point in the story because it's 80 years later. Um, so apparently they built a theater in the time between Judah's death and Agni or Fire Punch's death. So they built a theater in a village, but unfortunately they weren't able to play movies in it. And then San asks Nen who he was before he was reborn as San. So basically, like, who was my or what was my identity before you re-raised me, um, as San? And then we get that little interaction, and then Nen dies, and then the theater employee, as San is looking out into the
I don't
background,
think
into the sun. What's
she's
up?
like a military. I don't think she's a.
Yeah,
I think she's like a military officer.
yeah. I don't know. I just like labeled her as like a theater lady because she was the employee that let him know. I'm like, I don't know how
I
to
don't know why
label
she's
you.
around.
Yeah, I I don't know. It's weird. This ending is kind of bizarre to me. Um,
Yeah.
it's bizarre to me. Um, so San is just chilling, looking at the fucking farm and the land and the sunset, and then the theater lady pulls up. She's like, "Hey, I got some medicine for you. It's gonna kill you. So
Because
take
there's a
it,
war coming.
because there's a war that's gonna be coming over wheat, over the wheat in the area." And then San is like, "What the fuck? Why would I take this shit? You shouldn't tell me what the fuck to do. You're my student." Oh, and then
Oh, yeah.
um, and then that interaction finishes, and then the person, the theater lady, fucking student or whatever, gives San the camera, and San takes it back to the movie theater. And
They
Um,
found the camera. Yeah,
they found the camera. I don't know who had it. It was probably like Nen this whole time, because she was the assistant camera person. Um,
because they were cleaning up, right? Everything from the old ice world,
yeah, 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 yeah. I
excavating and
I can't remember who had the camera last though. If it was Togata or San, but or not San, Nen. One of the two, but I'll just say Nen for now because they found it. Um, so chapter 82, San is in the theater, watching everything that happened to him when he was much younger. Um, sees all the fire punch stuff happening, but unfortunately, there's no audio on it. It's just the images. You can't hear anything. And then several hundred years later, we pan out to see Judah's tree in space connected to the other planets in the galaxy. And we learn that Judah has lost her memories and she passes time with no thoughts, providing warmth for a single man. And then eventually, the Earth exploded, and millions of years go by. And then San, I'll call him Agni here again, and Judah, I'll call her Luna, they reconnect again in space at the heart of the tree, sharing another embrace. It was Luna's first time seeing someone in millions of years, and same for Agni. They both cried while greeting each other, and I said it was as if old souls reconnected with each other again. And the story ends there. Um,
five out of
Mary.
10.
All right, Mary. I wanna hear from you. I wanna hear your thoughts on what
I
you thought
really
about the ending. No thoughts,
nope. I'm
just like
marinating for it.
Luna.
I am marinating and just taking everybody's like opinions or like ideas because like I don't know. I feel like I am here to like do that because I'm just really intrigued and I have no idea. So I'm
I
listening.
thought the ending was like really poetic and metaphorical, or like I don't know, like I don't think you can read too much into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it kind of doesn't make any sense.
It's not the direction I was expecting. It did imply that it wouldn't be forever.
Is there a reason that Agni comes and floats back after a billion years?
I think that's just
No,
how it happened.
He's
just
just
because their
immortal.
Cause
souls
like,
were drawn to each other,
yeah, they were
right? And
drawn to each other.
had to be
Oh, so where's the
reunited.
other people?
The force of
Dead.
nature.
They're dead
They
as
had
hell.
the special
That's
connection,
great.
Yeah, maybe special connection, but
something
it
like
doesn't
that.
make sense
No, it doesn't make any sense.
at all. Feels like an asshole.
I
Yeah.
was pretty confused for
I'm so
like
glad people are confused with me. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to bring up this thing that I brought up earlier, and I want to like touch light on it now. So chapter 80, and I brought this up earlier, and I want to talk about it with you guys because I think this is very significant. About like existentialism and finding your purpose. And so in chapter 80, when Judah uh is telling Nen to like fulfill this prerequisite before Judah becomes a tree again, she says, having lived for so long and acted so many roles in my lifetime, I have come to understand that people will become who they want to be. Um, so do you guys think that Agni at some point after this portion before he like went to space, do you think he like found his purpose?
The world exploded.
No, but before the world exploded.
His
But
purpose was
even
to like
before the world exploded,
But he has no purpose anymore because it's not him.
Yeah, but do you
he's
think
busy
he fulfilled his life?
watching movies, watching the sunset over a field of wheat.
it's not even
What is
him.
your life?
Do you think
I don't know.
do you think Judah lived a fulfilling life?
No, not until they met together and died at the end.
Even before she became the tree again?
No, because
No.
she was acting out like she's never herself in this entire story. She's never herself. Like when you first meet her, she's like brainwashed into this cult, and she has to pretend to be a prophet to like keep this lie going to like maintain this fucked up society. And then
It was the same for Agni.
yeah, like all she really wants is to die, and then she loses her memories, or then she's like being manipulated by the ice witch, and then she loses her memories, and then she's pretending to be Luna for a while, and
Hmm.
Then she came back.
Yeah, but like
Then she became a tree.
during the time at the salt factory, she didn't know language, and then over 10 years she like learned language again, learned how to
she's
love
probably
her brother. She was probably
happy,
what?
but
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
happy, but
Like
she's still not herself.
that like temporary feeling of like happiness. Like, do you think that did something for her, like fulfilling wise for her life?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
Probably.
version 3 of, or version 103 of Judah,
Yeah,
'cause she's lived so many lifetimes.
that 10-year time gap is kind of weird because it's like, why did it take that long for Sun and Nen to come after Judah? Like, why 10 years? And like,
It's
I
a
guess
good
that's
point.
I think it was because at that 10-point mark, the Earth was becoming icy again. Because
right because it's like
it
temporarily a little bit
temporarily
warmer.
warmed after
Oh,
Agni punched out Judah in the tree.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess.
bitch.
Yeah, pretty confusing stuff.
Yeah, honestly, the ending to me, I agree, Nick. I thought it was poetic. I was just like, damn, some of these are ass pulls. Like out of fucking Fujimoto's fucking pubic hair near his asshole. Like, goddamn, bruh.
Dude, it makes no sense at all. Like from the beginning, from chapter zero. I guess chapter zero kind of makes sense now
Brother.
with the incest, because then they're back together. But other than that, that's the only full circle. Everything else doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, what's the number one thing that confuses you the most, Aldrin? Because I want to see if I can like connect the dots for you, and if anyone else
There's
has
no,
any
no, no,
other
no. I'm not
confusing thing.
confused by anything. I'm confused about the directional choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we
Like
know
the
what's happening.
story, it's. Go ahead, Mary.
No, yeah, like we know the plot, but then outside of that, like direction, as he said, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, why this? Why that? You know?
You know that saying of never let them know your next move? I think that's that.
Mad weakness.
Yes.
I think that's that in a way. But like that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why did people like this so much?
Okay, you know what I want to do? Um I can do this like post recording, but I want us to like listen to the fucking trash taste review of it, cuz they talk about
We
it
were listening for it
like
earlier.
in depth, and I was like, "Oh shit. Like
Yeah, I'm
I
curious.
should read this."
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Do you think
very
it aligns with what they said?
I don't, cuz I okay, so mind you, I haven't listened to their episodes in like 2 years, more than 2 years at this. But I do remember listening to this episode where they talk about Fire Punch, but I don't remember most of what they say.
I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like maybe I feel like I'm sure the meaning of it is very poetic and like I guess there is an overarching theme that like we've already talked about,
Yeah.
but the ending, like I was telling Aldrin, like the ending doesn't make me feel good. Like I don't really know what I was supposed to get from the ending of it because it felt so ambiguous and didn't make any sense.
Mhm.
Like it like it felt like it was building towards something and then it just
Like
stopped because I didn't
plateaued.
understand what the meaning. Yeah, like I just didn't understand what the meaning of the ending was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
at first, maybe it's supposed to be like, oh, like you could keep living, and then something good will happen, and like there's good at the end. But then I was like, but then they didn't really get to enjoy being together because they just both died,
Mm-hmm.
and like we're in like or they were in space. I don't know. I took that like last panel of them being in the movie theater, being that they just died, like they just decided to die together. So I was like, so they just decide to die, and like, isn't that sad? Because they went through all of this just to die at the end. So I just don't understand like the feeling that you're supposed to get at the end of it
Yeah.
because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, Mary, remember when I told you I was like, damn, this theater thing is very foreshadowing of like what's gonna happen? Like it foreshadows death. I did not expect that final panel to be them in the theater at all. Like you, Jaya, I honestly don't know how I feel about this ending. I'm still thinking about it a lot. Cause like I just finished it this morning and I'm like, bro, like how am I supposed to feel? Like I I feel content with the ending myself, but I don't feel anything stronger than that because the ending didn't make too much sense to me. Um, I think for the most part, aside from some of the ass pulls, I think most of the story made sense to me. There wasn't anything that was too like an outlier, and I'm like, oh, this is clearly like writer's block. He just wanted to throw this in there because he said fuck it. Um, I followed everything for the most part. I I'm just like still trying to wrap my head around whether or not like I don't know what my rating of this is. And I don't know how happy or sad I should be about this end. Honestly, I couldn't give you an answer right now. I'll probably give you an answer next week. Not right now.
Neutral.
Yeah.
I give it
Five
a
out of
4.
10.
Yeah,
I
dude,
agree.
Angie's
It was pretty down the middle. Like, I guess there were parts of it that were kind of fun to watch and to read, but I didn't take away much from the story as a whole, and probably would not recommend it to other people. I'm
Yeah, I don't
glad
know.
it's
A good way to
like
put it.
Yeah.
less upsetting. I'll say that much. It starts out so bleak and so bad. Like,
I think it gets better after 30 though.
yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
I
Yeah,
think it
yeah, for sure.
The themes are definitely not as intense or harsh, which is great. And again, I think of it like the roller coaster shit. Like you're prepping to go up and then it goes down and then it fucking goes up again. And I'm like, when it ends, I don't know if it's supposed to be good or bad to me. I I I just love the fact that they reconnected after millions of years together because they're quote unquote what, like soulmates or something like that. But
right.
Myriad of years.
yeah, but I just think that the last two chapters to me, they're just so confusing. I'm just like,
But maybe that's the point, you know? Maybe that's what he wanted is like it's supposed to be your interpretation. Like some
yeah,
people do that. Like authors do that all the time in books where you're supposed to interpret like, oh, are they actually together? Was it a dream? Like was this a happy ending? Was it a sad ending? Like maybe it's supposed to be that. Like I guess there's something like beautiful in the fact that they like found each other again after millions of years.
hmm,
But then there's also the layer of like, well, did they actually love each other? Because he was thinking she was Luna and she only knew him for like 2 seconds before she became herself again. And like the world ended, it exploded, and they died. But
yeah,
now they're together. So it's like, do you just like you decide if it was if it's happy or if it's sad?
yeah,
I guess maybe I don't
yeah.
know.
Does your sister want to chime in and give an opinion on after her
I
first
wanted
read
to
through?
say, just want to throw this one quick thing out here real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like they like floated to be together for millions of years, and it's like love and everything. But like, we're not discounting the fact that he imposed Judah to be Luna, which is his sister, and they fucked.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so what?
Maybe that's why I didn't think it was like happy ending or like, oh, that's sweet. Like I read it and I was like, okay, they're connected now. What? Maybe because like yeah, like the journey up to that point was
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. To me, it's like they didn't seem like they needed to be together at the end because of all this like up and down, tumultuous stuff like that. But then they ended up together, so I was just kind of like, okay. And
He's still sick.
No, but like, okay, yes, but also it was it was Judah's fault for like starting the fuck.
Oh
Cause
my
she,
god,
cause
starting
like,
what?
that's
Right.
crazy.
Starting
bro,
everything?
he was trying to fucking tell her like, hey, like, I gotta go back to this chapter, bro. I swear to God, I'm not trying to fucking blame, but I'm just saying like, she's the one that kissed him, and then they fuck, and
She
then
had like promiscuous outfits. I was like, what? Are you serious right now?
yeah, hold up, what fucking chapter is that shit? 75?
But that's what
I don't
that's
know.
because like what Justin and Mary are saying makes sense. There is also like, yeah, they're together, but like he doesn't know her as Judah. He knows her as Luna.
Yeah, but like physically, and I'm not trying to fucking find an excuse to say that that's not his sister, but like when they washed up on that shore together, he was like, "I'm going to tell her that you are my sister, or like I'm your brother." But like physically, like genetically, they're not related. From we aren't given that detail explicitly at all in the story. I just think for his sake, because one, he got his powers taken away. Two, he fucking he like he has no one in his life. So I think he's just chalking it up to, okay, there's this girl that's next to me. She looks like my sister. I'm just gonna call her my sister. Because her fucking memory is wiped and she's very naive to believing whatever the fuck he's gonna say. Because there's no one else to tell her otherwise.
Right.
Literally. And that's like the whole thing with like religion with Doma too. Like he thought that that movie was that he was watching was fucking real life, and he's like, I'm gonna go do that because that's God and he told me to do it. Like,
Yeah. So then isn't it like this manipulation stuff? Kind of.
yes,
I
okay,
think
wait,
that's what I was like feeling. That's why I didn't like it.
I gotta find the
Yeah,
chapter where they fuck. I don't know why
Wait, sorry,
I'm
what were you
saying
saying,
that.
Nick?
that point, it's because it's tries to be like this incredible reunion across time and space between these two people, but it's like their whole relationship was like weird and fake and
Yeah, it's
like
so in and out. Like
why
they're
is this?
close and then they're not, and then they're close again. Just hold that.
5 out of 10.
Okay, also,
It makes
oh my
more
god.
sense if he reunites with his sister, like his genuine sister
Yeah, his
somehow.
Yeah.
genuine
Like
sister.
died
Mm,
and he goes to the afterlife and he's like, hey, it's me, real Luna. Here's our parents. Like, let's walk into the sun. Like, that would be cooler, I think. That would make
Yeah.
more
yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, bro,
Especially watching
I'm
movies in the cinema together, dude.
I'm gonna share my
Movies,
screen.
only the movie.
I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen. This is chapter 66. I'm sad it's not 67, but so this is the interaction. So this is the hypothetical situation where he's like, "Okay, who would you save? Would you save me and or everyone else?" And she's like, "I'm just going to save you because you're my brother. I'm just going to let you inside because you're my brother. Why me? I wouldn't be in Tina others would die too, including yeah, she's not even 10. Who she don't give a fuck. Still, I'm sure I'd end up choosing you. Why? We read right to left, okay? Crying. She's about to approach him. She's tearing up here too. She walks up to him, kisses him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
he's
then
crazy.
for I guess for comfort. But why the
Yeah.
fuck would you kiss your goddamn It's not your biological brother. But
But
why
it's
the
not
fuck?
the brother. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
Yeah.
not the brother.
But
It's just
also
he's named himself brother for her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Agni did it, but like Again, there's no social cues in this fucking universe, alright, guys? We just gotta make that straight. There's no fucking social cues. Doma said it himself. Y'all dumb as fuck. Y'all are stupid as
Uneducated.
fuck. Y'all are
No education.
uneducated as fuck. So, whatever the people would believe, especially the followers, they're going to believe that as God's word. That's that's just how it is. And like, dude, when we see these two in bed, she's always fucking hugging on him. She's always hugging on his ass. She wants his meat, bro. He's not touching her. He's not touching her. Where is it? Oh, we might have to blur this for YouTube, but okay, not that.
There it is.
No, no, no. That's after the deed is
Go,
done.
go
That's
back up.
after the deed is done. That's after the deed is done. Hold up.
He's crazy. She loses her memories. That whole conversation between the two of them is like, who would you choose to save? Who would you bring in out of the cold? Just like, you're both insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, hold up. Let me go back. Let me go
It's
all
too
the way back.
Hmm.
going
Yeah,
back.
and hold on, wait, don't go far yet because nothing happened with this Avengers people. They introduced them and they're like, "We're gonna have to get them with the Avengers," and then they fucking died.
Yeah, they died.
Nothing
Yeah,
happened.
that
Yeah,
was
they
Nothing
died.
weird.
happened.
That's true. They died. They died.
They
Okay,
look
Zero
so
things
intense
happened.
in this one frame,
okay.
and then they're
Hold up.
useless.
When they sleep
Yeah, it
as
looked so
kids.
sick.
Chapter
No.
one. Damn.
No, okay, I gotta go to one because I'm like, do they sleep in the same bed?
Why?
Yes, they sleep in the same bed. Yes, but are they cuddling with
Yeah.
each other? I'm not sure. I can't remember. I can't
Wait, which
remember
one? Is
if.
this chapter 0?
This is chapter one, I
Yeah, this is
think.
chapter one. I don't know if this has
I think
zero.
they do, but
Do-
what does that have to do with that later
Cause like
thing?
Yeah,
there's
chapter
that
Luna.
there's
chapter
that
0.
there's that comfortability in like the whole.
Like,
Oh
Chapter
fuck!
0, chapter 0.
Is it
they're
zero
talking
for
about
sure?
Luna's like, we should make a child.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
They're
they
like,
were next to
ew.
each other.
Yeah, they were next to each other, right? In the bed. And it's
Yeah, yeah,
like
they were in the same bed.
it's
Same
synonymous with like
synonymous.
it's synonymous with Judah being in the bed with Agni. Agni's not doing shit, but Luna is like, "Hey brother, you want to start a family?" Like, bitch, what the fuck are you asking that
Yeah,
shit
she
out of nowhere?
initiates. She
She
initiates. She
initiated that
initiates.
shit. She initiated that shit again. I'm like, bitch, what are you
Nothing happens
doing?
again. These are two different people.
Yeah, they're two
Yeah,
different people.
they're not
They're two
the
Oh,
same
different.
person.
They're two different people, but there's parallels there. We can agree to
Yeah,
uh,
that. Cause it's like,
yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, what
Oh,
the
what
fuck, you
siblings?
dumbass? Why are you? We're siblings, like. But
but she's
mind
like,
you,
but I love you.
Both
yeah,
sides were
yeah. But like, bro, I'm just like, hold
bad.
up. It's weird to me.
It's oh my
it rubs me the wrong fucking way, the wrong way. And I'm like, bruh, I just can't right now. I just can't.
Like, sometimes a story is just a story. There's no morals. There's no lessons. It's just to pass time. You know. I feel like this is one. This is
The
one of those.
past
He was
time.
he
What?
was like working on his craft. This is like one of his first published works, right?
Yes, it got him.
So you know,
It got him his fame.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It got him
This
his
is the
fame.
first iteration,
Yeah,
and
this
then he
is.
got
That shit is ending without that much sustenance, bro.
Yeah, I think we've said this before, but like I feel like there are other stories that have these similar themes that don't do it this way that still make sense. That still
Yes.
deliver what they're trying to say. Not to say that Fire Punch is not like that there's no meaning in Fire Punch cuz I think there is, but I just don't necessarily think that the way that it was delivered was perfect or like great.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that. 100% not perfect. That shit is hella flawed. Hella flawed. All right, I want to go around the table, starting with Aldrin. We're ending with Nick. Uh, I want everyone to give 0 out of 10 rating on Fire Punch.
Wow, 0-2.
5 out of 10. I think if you can get past all of the jarring points in the beginning, I feel like there is a story behind it, and it's not just like all shock factor. But the story is a little all over the place. but there was still some solid panels, solid storytelling in the specific arcs. There's some decent character development. Um, a lot of time skips, but sounds pretty cool.
Okay, Jaya.
That sounds really. I think I'd agree with the 5 out of 10. Like it wasn't the worst thing I've read, but I think like Nick said, I don't think I would necessarily be pushing somebody to read it. I think it had its moments, and I think the parts that it did to like reflect what the themes were of like existentialism and nihilism and all of that, like I think those showed. I just think there were parts that were a little convoluted and didn't feel like they fit necessarily into the story, or at least the theme that was trying to come through. So 5.
Yo, 5 out of 10s. Mary.
Yes.
4.
Damn.
I was thinking like I was gonna give it a 3, but then I was like, okay, a 4 is fine.
After this discussion, you
Yeah,
got
it
up
was
one
4.
point.
I think going into it because we heard that some people think it's like one of the best manga and like one of the best story and it's like really really good and that people should read it. I think I went into that with that like preconceived notion already, like kind of like influence. So I was like, oh, this is like yeah expectation. Like this is supposed to be like really good. Like I'm excited to see like where it's gonna go. It's gonna be wild maybe or like mind bending. It was mind bending in like the wrong way because it was confusing. But like the beginning, like I kind of did like how it was like jarring and like all of those details and stuff because I was like, oh, if it's gonna be like this, like yeah, it's hard to read, but if it's part of the story, like it's interesting to me, so I'm interested to like see where it goes. But then there's a clear like difference between the first half and like the later half, where the later half is more just like I don't know, obviously not as jarring and like like graphic, I guess. Um, Yeah, I don't know. And I think I did feel like it was homework when it came down to it. Like, we didn't have a book club for like so many weeks because we were all busy. But then we are like, oh, we have book club next week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to read it. And there are some chapters that I was into towards the end. But I think as a whole, when it was time to like, catch up, I was like, okay, I need to read to catch up because like we need to talk about it and I want to help contribute. But yeah, I think it's just because I had the expectation that it would be like this big thing or like we can see the appeal of why it's like really good. But I just like as I was reading, I was like, I don't really see the appeal, or like I'm trying to pick up on why people really, really like it, but I couldn't pick up why. Yeah,
4 to 10. All right.
it's a lot.
All right, Kuya.
I give it a 5 out of 10, maybe a 4 if I think hard enough. Um, I mean, we're all kind of saying the same things here. Is that it's like it's edgy and jarring, and I came into this reading that I'm like, wow, that's like really kind of fucked up. The payoff better be good, and it wasn't. And I think we said before that there's other stories like AOT that justifies like the gruesomeness because of the payoff and the character development. But I don't know, a lot of this story I feel like I don't know, our main character Agni was just I wish he had more dimension to him. Like he's just, oh, people gotta tell me what to do. I gotta kill this. I gotta kill that. But also I want to fuck my sister. But then I like lose my memories.
No, he did not
Okay,
want to do that.
he did though.
He did, but he didn't want to.
And then I asked my question like, why? Like, why did they write that in? Because there's no payoff. You know what I mean? Like, did it have to be there? Did
Exactly. There's no connection. That's why, like, at the end, I was like trying to connect why these things happen, and there was no explanation. I think for the beginning,
yeah,
it's just like he just wanted to drop people in, and like sure, you're probably portraying the world is so fucked up because X Y Z, but other than that, like, that's it.
yeah, and like, sure you could draw parallels. Like, there are parallels of like religion and like the world's messed up and people have this role to play and stuff like that. And then movies, whatever, is also like a metaphor for all this. But it doesn't like go further beyond that or like give you like a clear, I don't know, like call to action. Like you want to read something that feels makes you feel inspired or like think about stuff. And all I'm thinking is like, man, that's kind of fucked up for like what we got in the end. And like, I don't know, like now that I think about it, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10.
I was just thinking, like, to add on to that, like, and I know Nick has to give his rating, but just something to think about or someone can answer later. Like, what happened to this whole firewood, like, situation, right? Or, like, concept in the world? Like, oh, you're firewood, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like maybe at some point, unless it's just me, like, that whole concept stopped being important.
Yeah, it stopped because there was no like need to feed people aside from like Agni needing to prove himself to his followers. Because like after that, we just follow Agni. We don't follow. We only follow Agni, Judah, Sulia. That probably it. Those are like the main three. Those are the big three. But aside from that, like the people in the village, I don't give a fuck about them anymore. There's like no need for them.
Maybe it's because, like, I'm picking up these themes or, like, things that are happening. Or, ooh, how is this going to play out in the future? But then it doesn't even play out in the future because,
And
like,
it doesn't.
exactly. I
Oh.
was like, oh, it's going to be some commentary of, like, slavery and like exploiting people and stuff, right? But then that just didn't go anywhere. So I was like, oh, it's like a dead end because I thought that concept was gonna go somewhere, but it didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really recommend this either unless you're just into like edgy shit. Then it could be entertaining, but I don't know.
All right, Big
Didn't
Nick.
get what I want, what I thought to get out of it. I'm done.
I am also gonna give it 5 out of 10. A lot of the things that I would say have been said already. I think, yeah, it starts out edgy just for the sake of being edgy and not really worth it for the quality of the story. And then after that, it's just confusing. I never really understand like the motives of any of the characters or like the main character in particular. Like I just it was I didn't dislike reading today. Like I've read volumes 4 through 8 today, and it's fine. Like there's little pieces here and there that are like kind of interesting or satisfying to watch. Like just from a very surface level, but yeah, it was pretty confusing. What was going on and why. I think the whole idea of like the world is like an interesting possibility to explore like these powers and feels like a big wasted opportunity. Like there's pieces of a good story here that just don't reach any satisfying development or conclusion. And yeah, it was kind of just washed over me. That's about
I'm
all I
glad
can
people are confused because I was like, damn, am I like not picking something up? Like everyone else is gonna think it's like really good or they see something that I don't, and I'm like, bro, I'm just so confused. But I'm glad everyone's kind of like on the same page. So I'm like, okay, so I didn't miss anything. It actually just wasn't nothing there.
I mean, I was confused with Attack on Titan too. Like, I still don't think I fully understand all of Attack on Titan,
Yeah, same.
but it's like maybe there's more detail in Attack on Titan and like there's more of a fleshed out world where it feels like you can really like spend hours like digging into it and trying to understand it and to like track everything down. But with this, with Fire Punch, it's kind of like it is what it is, and a lot of shit doesn't really tie up, and you just kind of take it and move on.
Is there like one direction in AOT?
No,
One
Like
Direction.
linearly,
no,
like time.
it's not linear.
No, it's not. There's multiple storylines.
But I think directionally it's still one, right?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Jump around,
Yeah,
flashbacks.
yeah.
Or like
No.
sequential, like oh,
It's a vibe, it's like it's different.
yeah.
Oliver, what did you think?
All right. If you had a gun to my head and you asked me for a rating, because
Unnecessary.
because earlier I said after I finished it this morning, I don't know how I would rate it, but gun to my head right now, I would probably give it a 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Really pushed out.
if I want to be a troll, I'm gonna give it a 6.7. Um,
Okay.
honestly, I thought that the story for me was pretty easy to follow. I think the redeeming factor of this story was its characters. Despite a lot of them fucking dying, actually all of them dying. Um, I thought Togata was very interesting. I thought San was interesting to a point. Agni as a main character, very boring.
Yep.
Um, Luna slash Judah slash Sulia, bro. We need like a different fucking variation of fucking people. Cause I get it. There has to be, I guess what the author was intending was you have to instill this idea of, oh, I need to have this girl be prominently in the main character's head so that that is his main goal. um I thought that that use of his sister was pretty, I don't want to say corny, but it was like very one dimensional. um I thought the art in this manga was pretty cool. There were some panels that were super dope to look at when I first saw them. Um, again, I think some of the themes with like, oh, my goal is to remake a Star Wars movie. I thought that shit was fucking bull. That is some fucking bull, bro. Like, what? Like that um I like the idea and theme of the movie theater. I think it's very concise. It's pretty unique. I don't think there's any other piece of fiction that I've seen or read that for me is as significant as a movie theater for death. Um I thought the ending was so bizarre. I just think that for me it's a stretch after 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 Fire Punch dies. I think it's a stretch between Agni being revived and then ending up in space with Luna again in space. I think that to me was just the biggest like what the fuck, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Um but I have to sit on that idea again for like a little bit cuz I have pretty mixed feelings about this. All of us have mixed feelings about this, but um yeah, my I'd probably say like average 6.5 if I were to be for real for real. Um yeah, I just thought it was gonna be a lot better. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad that that this was worse than Yumi and the Nightmare Painter for me. Kind of sad.
Actually,
I'm kind of sad.
yeah.
I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I do want to apologize to y'all because I'm the one that recommended this shit.
Yeah, you better.
I mean,
But
No, but
it was
not every book is gonna
it
be
was
a hit.
yeah, not everyone's gonna be hit. But from what I had heard, and I kind of want to transition this into us listening to the Trash Taste review of it. Um, yeah, I think maybe they'll probably touch on some points that we didn't see, or like I might feel not that strongly about. But yeah, that I'm sorry.
Man,
no,
sorry.
it's okay. I mean, I think it was I definitely it's not something I would have read on my own. Like I wouldn't have picked it up if not for
For book
so
club.
so I think it's an interesting experience. And there's things to pull out of this story. I think like I can see where he was trying to go, and I think it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I just wish that
I don't
like
think it was a bad experience. I
yeah, I
guess.
don't think it was bad at all. Like obviously the first 3 volumes were like dark.
Actually, yeah, that part was pretty bad.
That was dark. But
It was just kind of mid.
I don't know, man. I might be
It
like
just wasn't a wow,
it
right?
wasn't wow. Yeah, it wasn't wow at all. It was just
Yeah,
like very jarring slash
it's mid.
it makes you think about shit and how like negative it is and I'm like I don't
Yeah,
know,
it was
man.
definitely thought provoking. I think.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very.
I'd be interested to hear what the
What Trash Taste has to say?
trash taste's opinion was,
All
or
right.
why they thought it was great.
Yeah, let me pull it up right now for us, and
I
then
was
let
gonna
me
say, if
see.
you just watch a little
You
bit.
can do that. I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
back.
go ahead. I'm gonna pull this shit up for us.
Should we stop the recording?
No, not yet. I'm gonna we'll like we'll watch it. I'm gonna cut it out of the video, and then we'll like give our thoughts.
If it's the same one that we watched, the 20-minute one, it's kind of long.
Um, fuck.
Like segments, just like
I can
I
put it
don't
on
know,
like 2 times speed or something. Yeah, it is the 22-minute one.
and then put on closed caption.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck do they see in this to give it such high praise?
I don't know, bro. Well, we'll see. Cause yeah, I
But
did
they
what
rated it 7.5.
I did they? I don't remember
Yeah,
the rating.
7.5. That's not like amazing either. It's
Yeah.
just
I feel so good about this.
Fire
you could
punch.
probably start it even while Nick's in the bathroom. Like the beginning is just
Oh
auto
yeah, like
timeout.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
read a little bit.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Fire Punch
I
changed the
also
world.
read. I
Did that do anything for y'all? Did it like
I
open
feel
your eye
like
to
it said
something or
same
not?
things we said,
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
it's not changing my opinion on anything. It's kind of like they're praising it for being weird, but weird isn't good for weird's sake.
Yeah.
Kind of what I took away from it. It's like, man, this guy really comes up with a lot of crazy ideas. Like nobody would have thought of that. Like, yeah, just because nobody would have thought about it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
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 That's true.
I think they're coming from a place where they like have read so much manga, and that is like the one that made it so different. And then us coming in, like that was literally my first manga I've ever read, start to finish. And I'm like, wow, this is like absurdly fucked up. And like, yeah, I know there's like incest probably in like manga and anime, but
It like
like,
didn't serve a purpose.
yeah, which is exactly what he said. Like that could have been a good storytelling tool, and it just like kind of wasn't. And he was like, that didn't have to be there, which is what I said. So I don't know. I think that 7.5 that they gave it is just like off of their like comparing it to other tropes they see in manga, but in and of itself, yeah, my opinion has not changed either.
Aldrin 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. I think our 5 out of 10 is their 7.5. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, no.
Nah?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like they like it, like when they were talking about it. And I'm to be fair, the other guy hadn't finished it, so they couldn't go into too much about like their actual thoughts on it because they
Yeah.
didn't want to spoil it for him, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
It seemed
giving
like
it
they
a
had
7.5 out
enjoyed
of
it.
10. Sorry to interrupt, Jaya, but to give it a
No, you're
seven
good.
and a half based on the first 15 chapters, if I had just read the 15 chapters and stopped, I would give it like a 0 or a 1.
No, it's 7.5. The whole
The
the
whole
whole
thing.
thing.
Yeah. That was not the white guy Connor. He didn't give a rating yet because he didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only Joey and Garn. We read it and gave it a 7.5.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right.
What were you saying, Jaya?
Yeah, Jaya. Do you wanna
Uh,
finish your
no,
thought?
no, no. I think that was like towards the end of my thought. It's just like I don't know. It's just weird overall.
The Johan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Is she there?
I think she's in the bathroom. Johan, they're asking like overall what you think of Chainsaw Man. What the fuck? My bad. Fire Punch. I don't know if they can hear you through here.
That's it.
You can give her the headset.
Oh, here. Like your overall thoughts. Okay, to be clear, I read it like 4 years ago, probably, or 6 years ago.
Okay.
But I think overall, if you're like wondering about, you guys finished it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, imagine I like spoil the entire thing and you're like halfway through. But I don't know. I feel like if you're looking for a meaning in terms of having read other manga where it's like, wow, the meaning is like that you should always rely on your friends and like you find power in yourself. Whereas for this, it's kind of a bit more like nihilistic where it's like, if we choose to survive, that's like our choice, but sometimes there's meaning in it, and sometimes there's not. And you kind of like make your own meaning in why you're still alive, kind of. Though
Hmm.
honestly, I actually can't remember how it ended.
I don't
I
blame
know
you.
that one person dies whose name I can't remember, and I know like the main guy, he's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's alive.
He
He's
Yeah.
alive.
dies.
He's alive. No, 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 no. Agni is still alive. He
Oh,
Yeah, but
technically
he's
I
still
doesn't
alive.
die because he's a blessed one because he don't fucking die.
he turns to a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the tree thing, which technically is alive
Yeah, it's
if
still
you think
alive. Yeah,
about it.
it is.
I guess. I
It is.
guess.
It is. Aldrin, you fucking
Guess he's
rat.
alive with a tree.
Like millions of years like the world exploded. Like the entire world exploded. Yes. Okay, that's what I was telling you. Okay, I remember. Like, floating. Oh, I guess does he find her in the tree?
Yes,
And
at
then
the heart of the tree,
okay.
even after it
Yeah, so
explodes.
it's kind of like even after everything for you, like was that worth it? After like the insane, crazy shit that happened, it's like sure they found each other in the tree or whatever, but like was that worth going through all like the hey my arm got ripped off 1,000 times and people like ate me and shit and
Yeah.
so that's what I would say. But I'm also
Uh,
not someone who read it recently, so I could be wrong.
based off your
I'm surprised that you
memory,
guys chose Fire Punch because that one's fucking crazy.
what
That was
did
cool.
would you give it out of 10 from what you
Ooh.
remember?
Out of 10 is hard, especially since but I feel like at the time, since this was like 4 years ago, I had to like sit on it. I feel like before I was like, you know what, that did kind of have something to it. So maybe like 7 to 8. Oh, that's
Whoa.
high.
Okay,
What?
can you give your rationale? Because out of everyone here, I gave the highest rating at like a 6.5, and then everyone else was like
I
a 5 or below.
I think it's something that, and this is also kind of, I guess, influenced by, because afterwards when I read it, I was like, okay, I don't even get what the fuck just happened. Like I don't see like how it
Hey.
like there was any point to what just happened. But and because I realized like, hey, maybe I'm too stupid to understand what just happened, I looked into it a little more and was like, okay, well, what did other people get from this?
Mm,
And when I looked at what other people were thinking about, like, what the actual meaning of it was, I was like, when you put it that way, there was actually something to it, and you kind of have to like let it settle, I feel,
mhm,
and kind of get over the like initial what the fuckness of it. But I feel like the second half is better at doing that than the first half because the first half is literally just like,
A
um,
cluster.
yeah, decapitation, bestiality, like incest stuff, and it's
mhm.
like, okay, that's kind of a lot of going on.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
second half, they get into like the religious aspects and like people. That's kind of another thing, like the religious aspects, where it's like, in a world where there's like literally nothing going on to live for, like people will create their own shit to just like make up a reason, kind of. So they just started praising this guy because they're like, sure, if we follow this guy, maybe there will be a reason that we're still alive, kind of.
Mhm.
But that's just my opinion.
Thank you for your opinion. I appreciate it.
If you want to read a manga that's kind of like Fire Punch, but not Fire Punch and less incest, you can read Chainsaw Man. No, I have heard that. I mean, the guy said it too, but I've heard Chainsaw Man's more like polished and
Yeah,
like directional than
Enemy's good.
yeah,
and it's a pretty good story.
yeah. All right. Does anyone have any other closing thoughts?
Don't read this. Don't read this.
Fuck your opinion. Actually, I'll be the one to say it because no one else said it. Read this so you can formulate your own opinion on it. Because you don't need to take our
Read if you
opinion. You
want.
don't need to take our opinion seriously.
She
Shout out,
should though, but read if you
shout
want.
out Judah because she's the one. She's like, out of all the lifetimes I've lived through, you can live your own life the way you want it to be.
Oh,
Wow, that's deep. Okay,
yeah, 8 out of 10.
I'll give you that.
All right, cool. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, and I'm speaking for everyone else on this panel. So
Oh,
we gave
God.
it a 10 out of 10, guys. Please read
What
it.
the heck? What happened to own
So
opinion?
vague.
I'm kidding. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this panel slash discussion for 304 East Reads Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Stick around if you guys want to continue reading the other books that we have in store for ourselves. And if you want to check out our Yumi and the Nightmare Painter review slash book club, you can do that too on our channel. So yeah, Aldrin, you are the next person up to recommend a book for us, but if you don't have it right now, that's totally cool.
I don't.
Okay, cool. So
Slow, like a break because August is pretty busy.
August is
Yeah.
bussin'. But that's fine. Hey, I appreciate you guys for doing this with me. It's been a fucking wild ride. If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know in the comment section down below. Please leave a like. I'm not gonna ask you to sub, but if you want to, feel free. Love y'all. And we will see you in the next one, whenever that will be. Might be in a couple months, might be in a couple years, might be in a couple hours. All right. We'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye. I'm gonna just start until Mary gets here. Is she taking a dump?
Yeah, she is.
Alright, cool. Predicted
Is
that.
that in the recording?
I forget that you have a
Yes.
tattoo.
I like my
Dude,
outfit.
it's your pick. It's your pick.
board.
You can do whatever the
Down for
fuck
it.
you want.
Is it about cicadas?
How does
Is
how
it
does everybody feel?
is it
Nah. I started reading it. I got to like page 12.
Okay, so
I was like, fuck.
dude?
It's like fuck.
Oh,
I'm
nah.
dead as hell, bro. It's like
I was like,
fuck this.
fuck.
Fuck this.
Typical
If I'm reading
what?
this,
It sounds interesting
I'm gonna
though.
drag everyone else down like how I dragged y'all with Fire Punch. It's time.
Your pants.
Oh my god, can we read a Goosebumps? If it gets back to me, we're reading a Goosebumps. Honestly?
What the fuck?
Nah, you know what? We're reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Shout out. That shit was fucking goaded.
Is it like full grown pushing 30 adult?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yes, sir.
Dude, we're gonna get through that so fast.
Yeah, I know. We'll be like,
We could read all
all
together
right,
and
how's Rodney? What do we think of Rodney? Shit.
Rodney rules.
Wait, that was Johan, right?
Yeah.
Shout out her opinion. That was they gave me some insight because she and I share the same thing about the you gotta let it sit.
Marinate.
Yeah, you gotta let that shit marinate for like a week.
Yeah, it'll bump the most it'll bump up is like a 6. Justin, after talking through it, Justin downgraded from 5 to 4.
Dude, they do that shit in the movies too. They throw out a random ass fucking sex scene and we're like, what the fuck? This did not need to be here.